The most profitable drug dealers in America wear aprons and ask if you want oat milk. Nobody's turning state's evidence on that racket. It's hard to make a RICO case out of it. Now, if you're thinking, I want to look up RICO case on my brand new Mac Mini, I'll just get it tomorrow when I order it. No, you won't. You got to wait several months. You want to know why? It's hilarious. I'll tell you about it on the show today. And as a benefit for you subscribing to the channel at Bud Ford Comedy, I have the most profitable business tip in America on the show today. I'm really not making this up. Also, right now, there's a coal miner that's turning on the show today and thinking, I really do not understand capitalism. And he wouldn't be wrong. They are printing money right this very minute. The coffee business is making money. The coffee drive-thrus are making money like you would not even believe. I've got a chance to peek behind the curtain, and it's very interesting. These small little buildings, they're popping up all over America. They've been in your neighborhood probably for a while now. They're making money like Breaking Bad money. These little buildings have incredibly long lines. Someone should be looking into that because that is suspicious. A bank does not get those kind of lines, and they have money inside. Meanwhile, a little coffee hut with 2 employees and a menu that looks like it was written sort of like a candle scent, making enough money to invade a small country. Out here in Arizona, it's interesting. Like I said, you probably had those in your neighborhood for a really, really long time. But out here in Arizona, there's a lot of new development. And a lot of the new development is fed by Mormons. And if you don't know this, Mormons don't do coffee. That's not really their thing. So these entrepreneurs have adapted. They've made some changes. They're beginning to sell dirty sodas, which sounds less like a beverage and more like something you whisper to your doctor. Why are you here today? What brings you in? I got dirty sodas. Oh, well, that's a shame. Let me put this mask on, cover myself. 37 pumps of flavor, whipped cream, caffeine, candy floating on the top of Mars bar. When you order this stuff, you are ordering not just refreshments, you're ordering a chemistry experiment. No one knows what's going to happen in the long term in your gut behind this, but it's okay. Nothing motivates people in America like caffeine. Coffee prices, you may not realize this, are up somewhere around 40% year over year. We are the ones driving that cost worldwide because caffeine motivates people in a way that voting cannot, not fitness, not going to church. But if you tell somebody we have free cold brew until 7, they're going to be driving like the apocalypse has started at 5:15 in the morning. Now, me and my buddy were talking about this the other day. Scooter's Coffee. I was reading an article about this in one of the big magazines like New York or the New Yorker or one of those. You may have seen those things popped up that say Scooter's Coffee, the double drive-thrus, and then inside the malls they have those and some other places too. They were saying their day one profit margin for their franchisees, 62.5%. It's not a business anymore. That is a license to rob exhausted people. If you don't know, most businesses will fight for 10% profit. Restaurants are lucky if they're pulling 5. Meanwhile, these places are like, yo, here's some hot bean water. It'll be $9.48. We can't wait to pay this. You know that. We sit in the line. We think about it. We're texting people. We're not rational before 8 a.m. We do not make good financial decisions before some coffee. Coffee is emotional support soup. They don't need big buildings, giant dining rooms, servers, waiting areas. Nope. Just a window, an espresso machine, and some weirdly tattooed people with arts degrees that are figuring out their plan at the moment. That's the whole system. People develop coffee place addictions and attachments like we football fans attach to our teams. You come in on Tuesday with a coffee cup from a different place, people are going to ask. They're going to want to know. I don't go there anymore. What happened? They messed up my phone. Yeah, that's where we're at in society. Phone messed up, whole new supplier. And the menus? Well, the menus are hilarious. They crack me up. Nothing's called coffee anymore. That's not how we work. Everything on here sounds like a monster truck rally. I'll have the Nitro Avalanche. The Nitro Avalanche. Sounds like a commercial, right? With alcohol burning funny cars. The Caramel Crusher. That can't be a coffee name. Come on. The 1968 blend. Am I ordering coffee or entering a drag race? Which is a good question because the owner of Top Fuel Espresso was a junior drag racer, which is kind of neat. I've been around this little place and I'm watching what they're doing and I'm learning a lot from it. The dirty soda's a brand new kind of addition. And if you notice, McDonald's is adding those. Now they're selling them in cans so that we can just pick them up. Sonic's kind of been doing this for a really, really long time, just not to the same scale. They never thought about shoving a chocolate bar in it. But anyway, we'll just do what we do. But it's fun to watch the evolution of the dirty soda. And again, living out here where there's so many Mormons, it's nuts. These little huts, these little places right now understand modern America perfectly. We're not looking for an experience here. We want convenience. We want a treat attached to it on occasion. Good. That's all. That's it. Because we pull up exhausted. We need sugar and caffeine, and that's what they hand you. That's perfect. Suddenly, you believe you can survive meetings. That's not coffee, it's pharmaceutical optimism, and that's okay. I think this is the reason places like these work so well. Nobody's buying coffee, they're buying, oh yeah, I can deal with this today. That's what's happening. And that's apparently worth 62.5% profit margins. I'm not saying you should open a coffee shop, a double drive-through. I'm just saying, what else are you going to do that's legal and make 62.5% on it? So maybe the future of capitalism is not software. Maybe it's not AI-driven. Maybe it's handing Becky an $11 caramel macchiato at the front window at 8:12 a.m. so she can handle the war that's coming in the sales department at 8:30. That's it. That's all it is. In a nutshell. Now, this next story is going to sound like technology. It's what it sounds like. But really, it's about a couple of lonely dudes hanging out with their robots inside these tiny little Apple silver boxes. And apparently, they're the hottest things in America. Not trucks, not houses, not Ozempic. Tiny little Apple computers quietly replacing interns. I didn't know this. I thought people were buying so many of these Mac Minis because they were like, oh, look, affordable Apple computer. Nope, it's not what's happened at all. I thought, well, since the Neos have blown up so much and people are buying those for less than $600 at times, I'm like, that's what's happened. No, we're building robot co-workers out of these things in our spare bedrooms. That's apparently the world that we live in, which I didn't realize that's where we are. Again, in my naivety, I'm just sitting over here going, you know what? These Apple computers, people are finally getting it. You can get one at a price that you don't have to mortgage a kidney for, and they don't care. They're taking these Mac Minis, they're shoving them full of AI, and they're building themselves robot employees. And that's jacked. If you don't know what these things look like, they look like Apple made a little toaster for accountants. Little silver box. You don't get a monitor with it. You get like a plug-in cord, and that's it. Like that big, plugs in. Good luck with the rest of it. Keyboard, nope. Monitor, forget about it. None of that's coming. So now what people are doing is they're plugging AI into it, and then they're creating digital co-workers. I mean, dudes out here in Arizona are riding around in a Bronco with this Mac Mini hooked up to a Starlink through the desert talking to an AI assistant, which makes no sense to me. It sounds more like the beginning of a hostage video. The AI's got one of those cute little names, Etchy, and that's how it starts. Every sci-fi movie, if I've said it once, I've said it 100 times, it begins, well, Etchy's been real helpful around the office. 3 years later, all of humanity's hiding underground. These aren't chatbots anymore. That's not what's happening. These things can open websites, send emails, handle customer service, talk to suppliers, organize schedules. One guy said his AI is now handling refund requests. So if you're keeping score, we now officially have AI talking to other AI about broken wine glasses. Humanity? Oh, we're just middle management. And that's what I was talking about. These systems are running 24 hours a day for the electricity cost of a nursery nightlight. And that sentence right there feels pretty darn important. Sort of feels like a cliffhanger, a Friday afternoon on your favorite soap opera when you're watching your stories. Because every major world-changing disaster always starts with, you know what? It was surprisingly affordable. Nobody ever says, this invention will destroy civilization while keeping costs reasonable. People online are posting pictures of their Mac Minis like they're rescue dogs. Look at this little guy. I got him adopted. No, sir, you didn't adopt nothing. You paid for it. And those computers are plotting. One guy named his AI Andy, you know, like after the sales dude over on The Office, which is adorable now until the headline reads, Andy's locked us out of payroll. Yeah. And I love how casual that all these tech people sound when they're describing these seemingly insane things just 10 years ago. Oh, it handles my coding, tracks my tasks, responds to my emails, manages my entire pipeline for sales. Bro, that's an employee. You built an entire employee inside a lunchbox. We're moving too fast. Remember when ChatGPT helped you write a birthday card? Now, you're driving through Arizona and you're having brainstorming sessions with robot coworkers powered by a tiny sliver of metal. I still print out MapQuest directions. That's all I'm saying. The emotional steps as a society have been skipped. Funny thing about these AI systems, too. They can spend money accidentally in big ways. Massive amounts of money. Like my girlfriend. One guy said that he was getting emails from Claude because his AI went nuts and it kept emailing him. We just charged you another $100. We just charged you another $100. That's not really software. That's a gambling addiction with Wi-Fi. Can you imagine explaining this, all of this, to someone in like 1998? Oh, yeah. Yeah, people buy tiny Apple computers so that they can create these invisible robot systems. These things can negotiate refunds while they drive through the desert. Can you imagine in 1998 what that person would have thought? Bro, are you smoking crack out behind the Radio Shack again? You need to stop. It all makes sense in today's world because we're all overwhelmed, right? Everybody's behind. The mundane little tiny tasks are killing us. Just doing this podcast, sometimes when I'm editing and everything, if I do it daily and don't work ahead, I'm 4 hours in a day in this, no problem. So I've found sometimes you have to cheat some things. You're recording at 2 in the morning and that kind of thing. So the second somebody says, yo, this tiny little box can take care of those tasks, I'm like, yeah, people will line up. And that's why all the Mac Minis are selling out. That's why you can't get one. That's why there's several months. Now, we realize that AI is cooking up all of the RAM and all of that. Apple closed that fake education loop too, so they're not just going to give you $100 off anymore. You got to prove you're getting smarter. And I'm in a program, I could prove it, but that hurts. It just seems like another layer of trust has been broken. So yeah, these things are selling out because people are tired. And nothing says the future like a robot employee that lives in a box smaller than a Big Mac. We've made it. Yay. My guidance counselor looked at me when I was 17 and said, no. You're going to need to get a real career. Apparently not, Deborah. I could have just majored in whipped cream opinions. I would have been fine. This woman gets paid to drive around and eat hot fudge sundaes. Yeah, that's a real job now. Meaning somewhere there's a roofer dangling off a ladder, looking at his phone and going, you're telling me I chose the wrong industry. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. She just drives around to different places, reviews their hot fudge sundaes, and then talks about it like she's evaluating hostage negotiators. This fudge lacked depth. Ma'am, you are eating melted chocolate out of a paper cup. What did you expect? This vanilla had a nostalgic flavor. What do you mean? Made you think of the Clinton administration? Did it bring back images of your grandmama's house? Blockbuster Video? What? And that's the thing with modern media, though. Do not get sidetracked. Don't miss the point of the message. If enough people click on something, you are a professional now. So, that technically means I can do the same thing, right? My entire team has been like, bro, tell you what we need to do. We need to specifically point this towards something besides comedy. Like if we talk about cars, we can just sell cars, you know? And I'm all like, listen, I just want to find the things in the world that I think are funny. And they're like, okay, but we're not going to make money on that. I'm like, okay. So I started thinking I could do things like be a reviewer. I could do that for completely unnecessary things. I think I'd be great at it. I could review, for instance, gas station bathrooms. Not for cleanliness. There's probably already a moron doing that. I'm talking about for atmosphere. This Chevron restroom has the emotional tension of a prison transfer. The lighting in this Circle K suggests somebody's making life decisions in here. And you know, there are levels to it. I mean, some bathrooms feel hopeful, like a QT. Some feel like the final scene of a crime documentary or Saw the movie. You walk into them sometimes and you immediately think, yo, I should probably call my family. And that's content now. See, that's clicks. Top 5 Buc-ee's restaurants that felt safer than my apartment. See, people can't get there fast enough. And if it gets enough traffic, boom, again, I'm an expert. But I wouldn't stop there. No. Because I got to do a second one, because I'm going to get like 10 million hits on that one. So I'm going to have a second one. You can't just shoot a gun and only have one bullet in the chamber. You got to have a plan. My second one, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do reviews of free hotel breakfasts because I like them. They are pure sociological experiments. Nothing tells you more about America than watching grown adults fight over powdered eggs at 6:12 a.m. And every hotel breakfast feels temporary, like FEMA's got some of them makeshift trailers outside and they just threw them waffle makers in there and said, have at it, folks. It's going to be a long day. There's always some dude in the corner, usually me, making military-style focused precision waffles. I ain't coming here to have no overages on the side like I'm at Waffle House. I'm a professional. I don't play that. Everybody else is looking at me like, buddy, it's the Hampton Inn. You need to calm down, bruh. The cereal dispenser. I do love some cereal, having that big thing. Oh, I love that. Now, you know it ain't been cleaned since Obama's first term, but whatever. And you know they got one of those orange juice machines over there that makes that weird noise at the very end. Sounds like it's begging to get to a retirement home somewhere. I'd review all of it. I'd have every bit of it. This Holiday Inn offered sausage links with the structural integrity of coal. The biscuits displayed signs of emotional damage. And if enough people click, I'm rich and it's journalism. That's only the second one because that's how we do it. Again, I don't show up with only 2 bullets. I got a third one to do too. This one's probably 100 million views because I'm going to review waiting rooms. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a lot to this. Every waiting room has its own psychological breakdown. I mean, let's take the DMV waiting rooms. They're hopeless. Nobody in there even believes there's going to be a tomorrow. They're all holding paperwork like they're trying to get into witness protection. It's a mess. Going to a dentist office, they're way too dang optimistic. There are people on the other side of the wall drilling in people's mouths. What's wrong with you? Tire shop waiting rooms? Oh, that's where masculinity goes to die. Every dude in there pretending like they know something about treadwear patterns. Yeah, whew, I can see that. That is definitely uneven treadwear. No, it ain't, Ron. You were just trying to say something that made you feel manly. I'm going to point out that every waiting room in America has a TV turned on HGTV. Why? I'm sitting there trying to somehow digest that I'm spending $1,400 on brakes and also trying to figure out why a couple in Idaho are still arguing over these backsplash tiles. For God's sake, make them Subway and let's move on. That's the USA Today. I'm all wound up. But you know, if I write 900 words about it with enough confidence, I'm a lifestyle journalist. And that's the dream, because this lady figured life out. She gets paid to compare hot fudge sundaes. Yeah, she's not out here trying to cure disease. She ain't solving crime. She ain't writing peace treaties. Nope. She looked at Dairy Queen and said, this fudge was thick and chocolatey. Bang! And cashed a check. Come on now. That may be the smartest career move in America that I've ever seen. The rest of us stupid people went to college. What is wrong with us? Thanks for spending time with me today. My name is Bud Ford, at Bud Ford Comedy. Thank you for subscribing, and I hope you have a great day.